This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. A nice long homestand kicks off tonight. It's interleague play. From Busch Stadium, it's the Toronto Blue Jays and the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to the broadcast booth here at Busch Stadium. Jim Hayes is with us. I'm Dan McLaughlin. That's Brad Thompson. It's 9 games for the Cardinals, all 9 games against winning teams. Should be a good test.
It's going to be a fun homestand, and good test is absolutely right. Look, it starts off tonight, Jose Barrios. Tomorrow, Goldschmidt. Then the Brewers are in town. We know how good the pitching is, so this offense has been clicking, Dan. We'll see what they do in this 9 games.
Well, the Cardinals coming off a sweep against Pittsburgh at PNC Park, and yesterday it was an onslaught of offense. 18 runs, 20 hits, and the Cardinals came through with runners in scoring position.
Dan, I thought I was going to see you come out of the stands and get an at-bat in this one. Everybody that stepped up, they got the job done.
Miles Mikolas going in game 1 tonight.
You want to talk about getting the job done? That's exactly what Miles Mikolas has done all season long. He is healthy. He has been your best starting pitcher. Not only your best starting pitcher, been one of the best starting pitchers in all of baseball. Miles Mikolas talked about how important this homestand is. Good guy to set the tone.
Miles Mikolas on the mound for St. Louis. This is interleague play from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Birds back at home. The Cardinals, the Blue Jays, coming up on Bally Sports.
4-game win streak. Nolan Gorman making his home debut in front of the best fans of baseball. Gorman, a huge MLB debut this weekend there in Pittsburgh in front of his entire family. His grandpa understood the assignment, tears of joy. Nolan making an impact immediately into the lineup this weekend. 500 batting average in 3 games with a couple of RBIs. And just in general, the entire rookie that have been inserted into that lineup have stepped up in a big way. 3 guys making contributions. Cardinals in general have had 7 prospects make their debuts this season. Donovan, Gorman, Liberatore, Palante, Robertson, Yepez, and Walsh. Let the kids play. And when they come here, that is exactly what they are getting done. Take a look at these OPSs, the averages, extra base hits, home runs, whatever you ask of them, they are willing to do it. Plus, play multiple positions in the outfield. Some of these guys brought 4 or 5 gloves with them. They're ready to go. Hey, St. Louis fans, so lucky tonight. Coming up, pivotal game 4 down the street at Enterprise Center. Cheer up, buddy, it's playoff hockey. We'll preview it next. Here, the Lou is jumping. The Blue Jays visiting the Cards, and then right down the street at Enterprise Center, game 4 between the Blues and the Avs. Huge game between those two. Fans getting ready for that one. Colorado leading the series currently 2-1. How will the Blues respond? They come out on top and even the series for game number 4. After the Blues game, remember, you are going to want to tune in right here, Bally Sports Midwest. All the analysis, Scott Warman, Jamie Rivers, John Kelly, and Andy Strickland have you covered. It is Car Shield Blues Live after Game 4 of the Blues-Avs game right here on Bally Sports Midwest. Taking a look at the remaining schedule for this series. Reminder, one more time, after every game, we got a post-game show. It's got everyone who's been covering the team for the entire season. They know their stuff. So you're going to want to listen in right here on Bally Sports Midwest. All right, coming up, Blue Jays and the Cardinals. Danny Mac and Brad Thompson showcase the Blue Jays young bats when we return on Bally Sports Midwest.
A lot of fans have done that here tonight as we get set for interleague play. The Blue Jays and the Cardinals. Speaking of the Blue Jays, this is a team that has a lot of offensive firepower. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, George Springer, and that trio leading the way so far this season for the Blue Jays. Big things expected from them. Also, big things expected tonight from Miles Mikolas. Mikolas and the Cardinals with our first pitch when we come back. Lewis, Jim Hayes, Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. It is 68 degrees. Very comfortable, pleasant night for baseball. Busy night of sports here in downtown St. Louis as the Cardinals host the Toronto Blue Jays, and right up the road we've got Blues hockey as well. So downtown on the way down here, Brad, it was buzzing.
It was buzzing, and it should be. This is an exciting time, an exciting homestand here for the Cardinals as they embark upon 9 straight. Miles Michaelis on the mound, the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Michaelis. The fastball, curveball, slider, and the changeup, and he has been good this year.
And leading things off, it'll be George Springer, and we are underway. Springer hitting .271, 7 home runs, and he has driven in 22. You have to be careful to start a game with Springer. He could pop a home run in his career. 47 leadoff homers for Springer.
Pretty dangerous right off the top, isn't it? That is a nice weapon to have, and one of the better players in the game of baseball over the last handful of years.
And the 1-1 by Michaelis drops in for a strike. And it's 1-2. The shift on the left side of the infield. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout from Michaelis to start his evening.
Well, just how you plan it if you're Miles Michaelis. Nice start right there. Gets the strikeout on the slider away. And this Blue Jays team, man, they struggle with pitches away from them, specifically breaking balls. And a really good one right there by Miles.
Here is Espinal, the second baseman. Makes sense that the Blue Jays would struggle maybe on breaking balls, because this is a team that can hit a ton of home runs, very much a right-handed heavy hitting lineup, and if that swing is any indication, that might give you a reason why they struggle with breaking balls sometimes, and also have a little success.
No, you are right, but the home runs haven't been there, right? So at some point you have to be able to make some adjustments and be able to drive the ball the other way, and they have not shown they can do that.
Backs him off the plate, and it's a count of 2-1. Santiago Espinal. A liner and a base hit into left over the outstretched arm and glove of Tommy Edman, and a 1-out base hit for the Blue Jays here in the top of the first. So Toronto comes in. They are 22-19. And they're in one of the toughest, if not the toughest, division in baseball. 7 games back of the Yankees, who have opened up a 5-game lead over Tampa Bay.
Talk about a tough division. This is a team that won 91 games last year. They came in 4th in the division and missed the playoffs. Like, that's how tough it is over there in the AL East.
One of the aspects that I still enjoy about interleague play, which began in 1997, is seeing new players come to town. And guys that you read about, you see them on the various programs that cover Major League Baseball, the highlights, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, however you take in Major League Baseball. And I guarantee you've seen this kid right here, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
My son was playing a game the other day, MLB The Show. He was playing with the Blue Jays, had Guerrero going. I mean, this guy is a star. It's been a slow start, though, for Vladdy this year. The monster numbers he put up last year, 48 home runs, been slower this season.
Ohtani took home the MVP, two-way player. But you look at the numbers, and Vladimir Guerrero, in terms of what he did offensively, 48 home runs. Ohtani had 46. Vlad drove in 111. Ohtani 100. And Guerrero hit 311 last year. So when you see those power numbers, a lot of times you don't see the average with it. He can hit for average too.
He certainly can. The only thing he didn't do last year was he should have pitched, Dan. If he really wanted to win the MVP, he should have just towed the slab out there.
That's what Yachty and Albert are hoping for this year.
Exactly, Dan. It's about the resume builder.
Absolutely. The 2-1 pitch just missed. And a rare 3-ball count. And you have to be careful here with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Ohtani went 9-2 last year and 156 strikeouts in limited time on the mound. Guerrero 0 for his last 8. And he draws the walk, and now runners at first and second for the Blue Jays. So Vlad's dad is in the Hall of Fame, and now it's another guy that has ties to Major League Baseball, hanging around clubhouses as a young kid, and it's Bo Bichette batting cleanup and the shortstop for Toronto. Now Dante could hit him a long way in Colorado, and Bo is doing that with the Blue Jays.
Had a couple of home runs the other day on triple sliders just in the middle of the zone. He's very aggressive in these situations with runners in scoring position.
Just like that, and challenged with a fastball by Miles Michaelis. The numbers glaring, and they are so, generally speaking, ahead and behind in the count. And there's the splits. Just 203 on the road. When he is behind in the count, his average is 114. When he's ahead, it's 452. Into shallow right field. That's Donovan. He'll make the catch and quickly gets it back into the infield.
It's a good sinker right there by Miles Michaelis to get in on the hands of Bo Bichette. Can't get fully extended. Can't drive it out far enough to move on Espinal from second.
Teoscar Hernandez, the right fielder, steps in for the Blue Jays. In just enough. And Hernandez is 0 for his last 11. Pair of walks, and he has struck out 3 times in this small stretch. Runners at first and second, and a breaking ball taken low. And at least initially, home plate umpire Edwin Moscaso is not giving that low strike to Michaelis.
I still stay down there. If I continue to prove, if Michaelis keeps proving he'll be there, might end up getting it.
And the 1-0 pitch. Maybe an inch or 2 higher, and gets the call to even it up at 1-1.
Well, this guy right here, Teoscar Hernandez, one of the big keys to this lineup. Monster year last year, 32 home runs, drove in 116. It has been a really slow start. He's coming in hitting 159.
And it's 1-2. Inning started with a strikeout of Springer. Espinal, the base hit to left. Guerrero walked. Bichette, the fly out to right. And Hernandez in the hole now. The count of 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 runners on. The outfield is straight away. The next by Miles. Hit out of play. Michaelis in 9 career interleague games, 7 starts, 4-2. ERA below 3.5. And his last start was game 1 of the doubleheader last week on the road trip at Citi Field in New York. He went 6 innings, 106 pitches. Really gutted through that final inning to save the bullpen for game 2. Cardinals would earn a split in the doubleheader. Michaelis took the loss in game 1, a 3-1 defeat. The 1-2 swing and a miss. Strikeout, 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Michaelis. Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first, and there's no score. Tommy Edman at the top of the Cardinal lineup, the shortstop for St. Louis. Then Nolan Gorman off to a good start. He'll make his home debut. Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Juan Yepez, the designated hitter. Brendan Donovan, Corey Dickerson, Harrison Bader, Andrew Kisner. Tommy Edman has solidified that top spot in the Cardinal lineup, walking a little bit more than he did a year ago. Certainly has cut down on the strikeouts.
He has, and he's always been a tough guy to punch out, but he just wasn't getting the walks, and we'll see what Jose Barrios has in store for the Cardinals. Coming off of his best outing of the year, wins 7 strong, 7 scoreless. Last time out against Seattle, the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Barrios. 4-seam fastball. His curveball is the secondary pitch. Uses the sinker and the changeup. You're going to see a lot of fastball, curveball.
Always take a look at the splits, and Barrios at home has had 4 starts, 2-0, ERA just above 3, but on the road 4 starts, ERA 6.5. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Tommy Edman. That's what we're talking about there. So the comforts of home north of the border for this right-hander. The swing and a miss and a strikeout of Tommy Edman to start the game offensively for St. Louis. Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense for the Blue Jays. Gurriel is in left, Zimmer in center, Hernandez is in right. Brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Chapman, Bichette, Espinal, Guerrero along the infield, and Kirk is behind the plate. Nolan Gorman. Not a bad weekend for Nolan to break into Major League Baseball.
I would say so. 5 for 10. Comes in, gets a hit in his first at bat. And he just looks the part. He looked very comfortable up there. Looked really good in the field as well. I know there were some question marks about him at second base. So far, so good, Dan.
And the 1-1. Good changeup. Another Cardinal on this team had a 3-hit game in his first 3 starts. What a shock, Albert Pujols.
Did you just make a comp there?
If he's anywhere close, we'll take him.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say. No, it's exciting. Anytime anybody gets called up as an organization, you're excited to find out what they can do. But this is one of your top prospects, and this is one of those guys that you went out there and you took a chance. You knew organizationally you needed some pop. You needed a position player that could be in the big leagues for a while, and he fit that profile.
The 2-2 swung on and missed. Back-to-back Ks. Barrios. You mentioned his last start. They talked about how he was able to pitch up in the zone effectively like he just did with that pitch to Nolan Gorman.
Well, that's something this year that Barrios has struggled with, really, is finishing off hitters. He'll get them to 2 strikes, but then there's been a lot of contact against him with those 2 strikes. But right here, he buried the curveball to Tommy Edman and then elevated the fastball to Nolan Gorman.
2 outs, nobody on, and it's Goldschmidt, 28-game on-base streak. Dates back to April 22nd, hitting .414 in that time. So basically a month's worth of games. It's the longest active streak in baseball. JD Martinez had a 29-game on-base streak earlier this season, the longest, and Goldie trying to match that. Shift on the left side and a 1-1. Little surprised that Goldie was not in the lineup yesterday with the way he's swinging the bat, but they talk about load management, and hey, when it's your time to take the day off, that's your time.
Well, I know Ollie kind of joked about it, said it was a very difficult thing to not write him in there. But when you're trying to plan for 162 and you got to keep everybody healthy, and there's a lot more research and science that goes into all of this, you got to stick with your game plan.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals still able to, barely piece together some offense yesterday. 20 hits, 18 runs.
Sure. Just talking to our good buddy Al Raboski before the game, and you and I were visiting as well about who does Goldie remind you of. You said Scott Rowland, and I thought Al's comp was really interesting. He said Dale Murphy. He said Dale Murphy was just a really solid player. Not a lot of flash, obviously, but reminds him of him. And a strikeout of Goldschmidt, and he strikes out the side here in the first inning. Could be set for a pitcher's duel here tonight. No score. The Cardinals, more on that. Let's check in with Jim.
Jim, what's going down?
We'll start with Steven Matz, who lasted just 4 pitches before coming out of yesterday's game with left shoulder tightness today. He went on the IL with a shoulder impingement. John Mozeliak told me this about Matz. The MRI was not over concerning. Anytime you put someone on the IL, you don't know exactly when they're going to come off, but I feel like we can put him on a path to where he can continue to pitch through the season. Dylan Carlson on the IL with the left hamstring strain. Mozeliak said the imaging shows a grade 1/2 strain, which is a tear. We wanted to let that settle down and not try to push him too far. Danny, the Cards were hoping Dylan could avoid the IL. Didn't happen. But, man, they made an awful lot of moves today.
Yeah, they really did. And thank you, Jim. I know you were on that from the get-go here this afternoon. That was a great play made by Arenado. Diving stop. Took away extra bases from Alejandro Kirk. And now it's Matt Chapman, third baseman, hitting just 193. And there's also news concerning Alex Reyes as well. And so you think about the Birds right now. They are banged up. And for Alex Reyes, he met with a doctor in Los Angeles. Apparently he'll need surgery. He's got issues with his throwing shoulder. Surgery has been scheduled for the end of May. And you'd have to think that ends his season. And a fly ball lifted to Corey Dickerson in left field. Under it to make the catch.
Yeah, just with all the moves, look, you want to see just everybody out there healthy. Just with Reyes, feel bad for him. I mean, this is a guy that has worked so hard, and Tommy John, then a torn lat, and now a shoulder. There's just been so many different things that have popped up for him. Wish him all the best, and hopefully this group gets healthy soon. But when you look at the lineup today and you see some different pieces in there and you see the guys that are being recalled, there's a whole lot of opportunity at the big league level.
And a fastball to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Left fielder hitting 230. Couple of home runs and has driven in 12. On the ground to short. Edman makes the play in a 6-pitch inning for Michaelis. Arenado, Yepez, Donovan coming up. Budweiser, this Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Barrios strikes out the side in the home half of the first. 14 pitches, 11 strikes. And here is Arenado. And a fastball in there for a strike.
It could be a long night, or well, maybe a short one if he continues doing what he's doing. Running that sinker back, good breaking ball, changeup as well.
Yepez on deck, and then Donovan. That's taken low, and it's 1-1. It's a quiet trip for Nolan Arenado. Still leading the Cardinals with 9 home runs and 32 driven in. And the 1-1 is lined for a base hit. Zimmer cuts it off in the gap in left center. And a leadoff base hit, Nolan Arenado.
Well, maybe that quiet trip was the calm before the storm. Coming into that at bat, one for his last 15. This one, curveball, hit on the screws, 111 miles an hour off the bat. I just love that slow-mo side swing there by Nolan Arenado. Stays down, head on the baseball, and just drives it out into left.
And now it is Yepez. When he starts his first plate appearance, he's jumping on starting pitching. 7 for 14, double, 3 home runs. 5 for his last 16 coming into play tonight with a home run. And I think the thing that you love is the fact that he's got 3 walks, so he's seeing the ball well.
He is. His .867 OPS, that leads all rookies in Major League Baseball too. I mean, this is a guy that has just hit as soon as he's gotten here.
Big swing and a miss. Nothing in 2.
Well, not exactly the spot you want to find yourself in, down 0-2 to Jose Barrios, but this is another place where Juan Yepez has shined, Dan, with 2 strikes. He spreads out, puts the ball in play. Still a wide open right side here.
And the 0-2 pitch popped up and out of play. Arenado, that base hit to left center was career hit number 1400. for Nolan Arenado. Yepez playing in his 18th game, and yet you look at many of the offensive categories for rookies in the National League, and he's either second or third. One category he's first, which is OPS. The 0-2. And Yepez lifts a fly ball into shallow right center. Teoscar Hernandez there to make the catch. Arenado back to the bag at first, and there's one away.
Batting 6, number 33, right fielder.
The versatility of Brendan Donovan. We had heard so much about it, saw it in spring training, and seeing it nightly with the St. Louis Cardinals.
If you hit, you play, right?
Yes.
And that has been the motto here recently. And Brendan Donovan has hit a lot like Juan Yepez. Both these guys find themselves in the lineup night in, night out, and rightfully so.
It's his first 3-hit game of the season yesterday. Went 7 for 21 on the trip. And he walked 6 times. The first pitch to him. Pretty amazing. Only 3 Cardinals have had an on-base percentage of .467 through their first 22 games. And this is one of them, Brendan Donovan. The other 2, Lance Berkman in his first season in St. Louis, when he got off to just a ridiculous start. Had a .467 on-base percentage, and Ray Blades as well back in 1922. And again, it's the first 22 games as a Cardinal. In this case, you're seeing a rookie do it, which makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's not like he's got a ton of professional experience under his belt either. This is a guy that's flown through the minor leagues, got up here quickly, but he was ready. And in spring training, I mean, you very easily could have taken Brendan Donovan north with you the spring that he had. Didn't end up breaking camp, but went down there, did his thing, got called right back, and he has made a big impact.
And the 2-1 pitch called back 2-2. Toronto's starting pitching has been some of the best in baseball. 18 quality starts, 3rd most in the game, 6th in the American League in ERA, 3rd in walks per 9, 3rd in strikeouts per 9. Inside. 3-2.
Well, we're going to see obviously Jose Barrios here in game 1 tomorrow. Kevin Gausman has been really good. We might be missing their best pitcher, the youngster Alek Manoah, who was solid last time out, went 8 strong against the Reds over the weekend.
3-2. They start Donovan, ripped inside the first base line. Arenado, they're going to wave him in, and he's going to score. Donovan brings him in. They start the runner Arenado, and Donovan hits it cleanly just inside the first baseline, and it's 1-0 St. Louis.
But just talking about the impact these young guys have had, that's a pretty good pitch. That's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. It is in, and maybe even in off the plate. Shoots it right down the line. And you're right, Danny, with Nolan running. He scores easily on this one. Like seeing an early lead at home, get the fans into it.
Well, I'm surprised how easily he scored from first. Went off that sidewall, and Hernandez took a while to get to it. And again, it's, interleague play. Outfielders not used to some of the corners, or maybe how it plays off a sidewall. The padding of an outfield, all those things come into play. And now it is Dickerson, the 0-1, taken high. And Dickerson, good numbers against Barrios. 4 for 8, and all 4 hits have gone for extra bases. 3 doubles, a home run. So Brendan Donovan now is driven in 8, and the Cardinals have an early lead here in this second inning. And the 1-1. Dickerson hits a fly ball out to left field. Backing up, it is Gurriel. He'll make the catch. And Donovan back to the bag at second. And now a quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Did your favorite song move you a little too much? Hey, it happens. When it's time for a breather, you can turn your debit card on or off right from your phone with the Great Southern mobile app, all without missing a beat.
Here's Harrison Bader with 2 outs and a runner at second. So no Tyler O'Neill, no Dylan Carlson, and the last one standing of the regulars in the outfield is at the plate. O'Neill out with a sore right shoulder, and then the hamstring affected the running of Dylan Carlson, so they want to take care of that, not let it linger.
Well, especially disappointing with Carlson. He had just started heating up. I mean, May, he was looking really good. But you got to get him. It's smart. Why try to push through something early in the season that could end up nagging? You take care of that hamstring, put in all the work, the rehab, be ready as soon as you possibly can. But that young man right there is going to be a big reason for your success this year. So you get him healthy, you get him right. Feel the same exact way about Tyler O'Neill. You know the numbers that he put up last year, the impact he could make.
Liner out to left off the bat of Bader, and the catch is made by Gurriel. They start the runner at first, and Donovan sneaks it by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It scores Arenado. 1-0 St. Louis. Busch Stadium, and that'll be this Friday. Purchase of a special theme ticket. Receive an inspired performance long sleeve shirt. And that's Margaritaville night coming up, and Cardinals.com/theme. Brendan Donovan, tonight's right fielder, with a double. It scores Nolan Arenado, and it's 1-0 Cardinals. Here's Bradley Zimmer, and he looks at a ball, the 9th place batter, and then we'll see the top of the lineup at Springer and Espinal. And a fly ball lifted out to center. Bader is back. He'll look up, and it's off the wall. Plays it perfectly and fires it back into the infield. Can't play it much better, and Zimmer was about 2 or 3 feet away from tying this game up.
Designated hitter, George Springer.
Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense. Dickerson, Bader, and Donovan in the outfield behind Michaelis. And then it's Arenado, Edman, Gorman, and Goldie on the infield. Kisner behind the plate. So the runner at second, and now it is Springer. Slow breaking ball. Seen him mix that in a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I think him and Waino have a friendly competition of who could throw the slowest breaking ball out there. But it is so effective, too, especially with Miles, the way that he likes to ride his fastball up in the zone. And by the way, there's a lot of swing and miss with Springer up in the zone with the fastball.
And the 0-1 hit out of play, 0-2. So tonight opens up really what should be a good test in this homestand to see where you're at. Now, it's not really a true test for the Cardinals in terms of where you're at because you're banged up. You don't have O'Neill. You don't have a Dylan Carlson. You're missing a Steven Matz. But it is nonetheless a test and to find out where you're at.
Exactly. No, you have to find out what you have with your depth, too.
Good pitch. Tied him up. And the 3rd strikeout for Michaelis.
It's a nice sequence right there by Miles Michaelis. Big breaking ball for strike 1, the slider for strike 2, and then the sinker in. First at bat for Springer. He struck him out with the slider away. You knew that was in the back of the head there for Springer. Ends up going with the fastball in and catches him.
There's Espinal, who's singled to left field. First time up. And starts him off with a slow off-speed pitch. With men on, Michaelis bears down. They're hitting just 171 against the Cardinal right-hander.
When you think about that as a hitter too, you're coming in 0-0, you're looking for something to drive. That's not it right there. So it's just a really nice pitch for Michaelis to be able to get in the driver's seat.
And with runners in scoring position, he's even better. Opposition hitting 161. And this has been one of the issues with the Blue Jays this year. Bringing runners in outside of, let's just say, even home runs. You know, get a man in scoring position, bring him in. They're hitting just 186.
That's the worst in baseball.
Yeah.
On the flip side, the Cardinals, same situation, runners in scoring position. They're hitting 287. So you look at these two lineups and you look at all the names that the Blue Jays are rolling out there. They're just not getting it done. I do believe it's inevitable. At some point this offense is going to get firing, but it hasn't happened for them, and we have seen this Cardinal offense finally start clicking.
The 2-1 fastball and a strike, 2-2. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is on deck. Toronto went 1 for 10 yesterday with runners in scoring position. Already 0 for 3 tonight. And 1 for their last 13 if it is all added correctly. Let's see, 10 plus 3. Yep, that's it. 13. One hit. That's 1 for 13.
Is that why your shoe is off right now? We got past 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pinky toe. I went with the. Yep, that's it.
I like your socks.
Thank you. Very nice. You ever have a chance to see his daddy play in person?
Got to face him.
I was wondering.
I did. I faced him once, and the scouting report on him was maybe throw it down the middle.
I was serious about thinking about saying that.
Yeah, because he hit everything else.
Yeah. Ground ball, softly hit. Arenado whips it to first for the out. I saw him, and I'm talking about senior, at Olympic Stadium against the Cardinals. We were playing up north against the Expos, and I can't recall who the pitcher was, but he bounced it. I would say, Brad, maybe a foot and a half in front of the plate. And he took it on a hop and drove it into right field for a base hit.
I believe it.
It was incredible.
He'd hit the ball over his head. He'd hit it, I mean, anywhere. With authority everywhere.
And I'm not exaggerating when I say
bounced.
Yeah. It's like watching cricket. Last year's AL MVP race, as they talk about what they want to do with first base open here in this spot. This is the comparison we were talking about earlier. The difference is, though, well, Ohtani pitches and also puts up those types of numbers offensively. 23 starts and 156 Ks.
Yeah, look, had Vladdy not been going up against the reincarnation of Babe Ruth, you probably win an MVP last year. But what a season it was for Vlad Guerrero Jr. And you do wonder, coming off of a season like that, you set your expectations even higher. You want to go out and, you know, you want to win an MVP. You want to win a World Series. You want to win a Triple Crown. You put all these expectations on yourself, and then you press. It's kind of been the case for him so far. He hasn't had an extra base hit since May 5th.
I saw that.
It's been a while.
So 2 outs and a runner at second. May not walk him, but let's just say you're going to pitch very, very carefully.
Make him get himself out. And that is something that this Blue Jays team has done a lot of. He has not been very good against the fastball this year either. So I would be staying away from Vlad and let him try to pull something and roll over.
And a ground ball. It softly to Gorman. And the Blue Jays strand a runner after a leadoff double. And we're midway through 3, and it's 1-0. Day at the ballpark with us. Cardinals Padres Monday, 25,000 fans ages 21 and older take home a set of 4 cornhole bags thanks to Budweiser. Cardinals.com/promotions. Andrew Kisner getting the start tonight as Yachty is on the bereavement list. Beautiful night here at Busch Stadium, ballpark that Kisner has enjoyed thus far. Early portion of this season, 300 average. I would imagine if Kisner's going to play more this year, and he has, I think ideally, when you take the complete idea of competition out of it, you want Yachty to play at home as much as he can. And Kisner will get probably, I would imagine, more starts on the road.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
it definitely does make sense.
And he hits it off the end of the bat into center, and it's down. Kisner will take the turn around first base, stop there. Hernandez backing up Zimmer with his diving attempt, and the Cardinals have their third base hit tonight. Top of the lineup, and Tommy Edman. If Hernandez is not backing up, that's easily a man at second and nobody out.
Pay attention, kids. There's always somewhere to go, even if the ball's not hit to you.
Well, Tommy struck out on 3 pitches first time up. When he decides to attack that first pitch, big numbers, hitting close to 600 swinging at the first pitch. Wanted to go after it, but was able to hold up just a bit.
Looked like a number that maybe Jose Barrios knew about as well, with that nasty curveball strike for the first pitch of the at bat.
So he knows that, meaning Barrios. His pitching coach knows it, the catcher. But then, Brad, as a pitcher, you know, get me into the mindset of this, because then you start to think, okay, he loves the first pitch. What else does he like? What happens if I throw a ball? Now it's 1-0. Now it's 1-1. What's he like? I mean, you've got all those things going.
Yeah, and honestly, I used to always love hitters that were aggressive early, because I knew that if I made a good pitch, I believe I could get them out on. And that's what I was trying to do, is get outs as quickly as possible. So somebody that has a lot of success on pitch 1. Now, Tommy is not necessarily crazy aggressive on the first swing, but if he sees something he likes, he goes and gets it. But if you have somebody that's aggressive, throw your pitch and let them get themselves out.
And he strikes out for the second time tonight.
Like we always do with you.
So Barrios with his 4th strikeout, fewest strikeouts per 9. And Barrios at 6.15. Greinke on that list. Brad Keller of the Royals. Boy, they're struggling this year. Quantrill is on there, and Michael Lorenzen, the former Red, now with the Angels.
I get a feeling he's going to bump up on this list a little bit with the stuff that we're seeing him throw today. And Jose Barrios has way better stuff than those strikeout numbers, and I think we're seeing a taste of it. That changeup, by the way, changeup is his 3rd pitch. It's mainly fastball, curveball for him. He's got a couple of punch outs already on the changeup, and it's nasty. I mean, it's coming out of his hand, looks just like the sinker, but about 10 miles an hour slower.
Nolan Gorman struck out back in the first inning, 0 for 1 in his home debut tonight. Cardinals not striking out all that much. 19% strikeout rate, lowest in Major League Baseball. The team average, 2nd best in baseball, 256. And the 2-0 pitch to Nolan Gorman. Popped up, left side. Kirk near the screen, and he has it. And that's out number 2. It's interesting, too. You look at the runs and the average. It's a bit misleading for the Cardinals, because you score 18 runs yesterday, and you might have a game tonight that's got 2. That's the way they've been going, either a ton or not many runs at all.
Yeah, we have seen a little bit more consistency here recently. They've scored 4 or more in the last handful of games, so you like that. And when you're looking at runs per game just on the season, Cardinals are 3rd in all of baseball at 4.88 runs per game. So slowly the numbers are getting back to where you want them. You mentioned the average at 2nd. OPS right now, they're sitting there in 6th. I mean, this has been good. And how about this May? that this ball club is having.
So the Cardinals offense this month over 5.5 runs per game. A big reason why the guy at the plate. Goldie, 14-game hitting streak on the line tonight. Hitting .458 during the 14 games. The line's one foul.
That right there is a big reason why. While that one's foul, he's spraying the ball all over the yard. You throw him that fastball away, he drives it that way. You try to throw him in, he's going to pull it. Just a complete hitter.
Espinal, the second baseman, more towards the traditional spot that he's accustomed to. And with 2 strikes, you will see defenses do that. The thought process is, in talking with people around baseball, so you'll have an exaggerated shift to where your second baseman in this case might be on the shortstop side. But with 2 strikes, and again, you want to believe that guys are not worried about striking out, putting the ball in play, then you move that guy back towards second. Now, I don't necessarily believe that, because strikeouts, I don't know if you knew this, Brad, but they are accepted now.
Yeah, they don't have to be, though. So theoretically, the idea is somebody's going to have a 2-strike approach. And I think that I really hope that we're going to see that come back, because the teams, to me, that are going to be the best are the ones that do that. It's not all about the home runs. The Cardinals right now, I mean, they can hit some long balls, but their biggest thing is keep the line moving. So if you can have a 2-strike approach, if you can shoot one the other way, if you can be a complete hitter, complete lineup, you're going to have a lot of success.
And the 0-2 is fouled back. Albert Pujols, yesterday no big deal, couple of home runs, only 17 away from 700.
Well,
wow.
You very rarely see a shot of Albert Pujols without a young hitter right next to him.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, I mean, hey, soak up every bit you can. That's exactly what Brendan Donovan's doing.
And another 0-2, and he tied him up in a strikeout of Goldschmidt. So 2 in the inning and 5 in the game for Barrios. We move to the 4th, and it's 1-0. Sports Midwest, brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals, and by your friends at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The statue of Dizzy Dean. So we welcome you back inside Busch Stadium here in St. Louis.
Pretty good crowd for a Monday night.
Not
Blues
bad at
are in
all.
town as well. I believe over 35,000 in attendance.
Here's Bichette, and he looks at a fastball. Bichette, career home runs numbers 50 and 51 on Saturday. And a grounder foul. Second youngest player in franchise history to get to 50. His teammate, Vlad Guerrero Jr., did it at 22 years old. And Bichette just celebrated his 24th birthday a couple of months ago.
Well, it is a very young, very talented Blue Jays team
that went through an awful lot last year just to get through the season.
They were all over the place.
I don't know how they did it.
And still won 91 games.
Held on to by Kisner, and a strikeout for Michaelis, number 4. Brad Thompson, your Toyota key to the game.
Yeah, don't help him. For Miles Michaelis, for the Cardinals pitching staff, we've talked about it throughout the game that this is a Blue Jays offense that has been struggling. They've scored the 4th fewest runs in the month of May, and they're trying to get out of their team slump, it seems like, with one big swing. So if you keep executing your pitches, you're going to continue to get these guys out, but don't help them out of it.
Teoscar Hernandez shoots the gap in right center. Over to make the play, it's Donovan. He carries about 4 or 5 different gloves. And no matter where you put him defensively, he's coming up with plays.
Yeah, he is, and he looks well prepared. wherever he goes. And that's where the work comes in before the game starts. He's out in the outfield. He's taking his fly balls. In the infield, taking his ground balls. Like, there's a lot of work to be done when you're a utility type player.
Here is Kirk, and a strike. Talking with Brendan Donovan the other day, he said what has amazed him is the preparation of Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, specifically on defense. He said when he first got here, he would sit back, do his work with Stubby Clapp and others on the infield, moving from short to second and third and first. But he said, boy, it's no mistake that these guys are Gold Glovers, and you see the routine and how they do it. Everything done at 100%.
I feel like that rings bells for Cardinal fans throughout the years. You take a look at Nolan and Paul and just how good this infield really is and how much better that guy Goldie makes everybody. But hearing about that preparation, and Dan, I mean, you were around this, grew up a fan of the Cardinals. Ozzie Smith was that way. Ozzie would be out there and just work tirelessly before a game, work on every crazy play.
And that is lined into the glove of Gorman. So 1, 2, 3, 6 in a row set down by Michaelis. Along, we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Cardinals' 1982 World Championship team. And this Friday, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older take home a 1982 inspired baseball T-shirt. And it features the roster of the championship club. That's at cardinals.com/promotions. Milwaukee will be here. So it's just a 2-game series here with the Blue Jays. Off day on Wednesday. And then 4 coming up against Milwaukee, and then San Diego will be here. So that's why this will be a test. Arenado has singled to left and scored on the double by Donovan. You're talking during the last half inning about Ozzie Smith. Ozzie would put himself in, as you mentioned, strange positions deep in the hole during batting practice when ground balls are being hit to him, as Arenado hits it out of play. And then he'd have somebody standing at second base to where he might field a ball on the backhand and then throw across his body, but without looking at where second base is at. So he knew where he was on the field, and his body got used to it. The muscle memory. It was just incredible.
And very rarely, if ever, missed the guy.
That's right. And you've been down to fantasy camp many times, and for certain campers, they could go on an individual instruction. So it might be Ozzie teaching defense. Many years, Lou Brock was talking base running. Bruce Sutter closing games out. And Ozzie puts on a clinic, and I mean, it is something you have never seen on a baseball diamond.
I'm sure it is. Something you rarely see on a baseball diamond. 4 outfielders right now, Dan.
That's how you beat him.
Should have had 5.
And a broken bat single into shallow right. As the ghost of Joe Madden has made his way into Busch Stadium. Joe Madden did that with Matt Carpenter.
He did.
At Wrigley when they couldn't get him out.
Well, with Matt Carpenter at Wrigley, unfortunately, you weren't able to put anybody in the stands because that's kind of where you needed somebody.
Here's Juan Yepez. It's the first time I can remember that happening to Nolan Arenado. And that is popped up. Could be trouble. He spun around and makes the catch. That is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. We're talking about taking ground balls and the various things that infielders will do. How about Bo Bichette earlier today? And you'll see at times they'll go down to a knee like that, try to get it on the short hop in front. and use a smaller glove, and that is a small glove. And then you've got the pancake glove, which is what you're trying to do with the soft hands, the alligator on top, if you will, the throwing hand. So all those things go into play.
Yeah, you see him playing through the baseball. That's something maybe if you're a young kid watching, you've heard a coach say, go through it, play through it. Well, that's what he's talking about, a little momentum going through the baseball. This stuff doesn't just happen, okay? The game doesn't start at 7:15 and these guys start working then. The work starts early.
And that flat glove, if you will, the pancake glove, as some call it, but it's to really just kind of have the soft hands on a short hop or any hop really, but also the alligator and just the motion of that.
Just that feel of two hands all the time.
Yep.
Can utilize that glove too, working on turning the double play, the really fast hands.
I used to play catch all the time with Jose Oquendo. I'd be in my suit. Jose would be in his uniform as a coach, and he called it magic, to where you'd never see the ball in the glove. So he'd catch it, but it'd go in his glove, but he was so fast it'd be in his throwing hand, to work on how quickly he could get it out of the glove. And yes, I used to play catch in my suit.
Yeah,
Got a problem with that?
A lot going on there. No, the name drop of Oquendo.
You know, it's no big deal.
Pretty good. It'll be a tough double play to turn it here with this defensive shift on.
Better watch yourself over there, Thompson. Get my eye out on you. Oh yeah.
I just can't wait to watch you playing catch tomorrow on the field in your suit.
And that is hit out of play. I barely can raise my right arm to comb my hair, much less play catch.
I don't believe that for 1 second. You're an athlete, Dan. You get a ball in your hand, you're good to go.
No, sir. No, no, no.
Saw you in spring training.
Oh, yeah.
Out on the backfield, long tossing with some of the prospects.
Sure. See kind of carry they get on their ball. Start the runner, and it's lined foul. Dickerson on deck. Seeing that last swing, Donovan was trying to shoot it to the left side. It's wide open there. 3-2. Start the runner again. Pitch taken for a strike, and that'll be a double play. Donovan didn't like it. Strike him out, throw him out, and we move to the 5th.
One to nothing. Lars Nootbaar, part of a flurry of transactions made by the Cardinals today. Newt recalled from Memphis. Lars had quite a day yesterday. 3 homers for Memphis, including a grand slam. Newt told me, I'm on the bus making the long trip back from Gwinnett. I was playing cards and feeling good about the game. Then I got the phone call that I was called up. Pretty good day. Dan, 3 homer games, pretty rare, but Newt had done it once before as a 12-year-old in Little League.
How about that? And maybe Cardinals are saying, let's catch lightning in a bottle if he's got something going here. Figured something out in the minor leagues. 3 home runs yesterday, and get him in the lineup.
Yeah, you got an opportunity, right? And that's what this season has been for a lot of different guys. For various reasons, individuals have gotten chances at the big league level, and they've run with it. So could be the case here for Lars. A lot of versatility on this roster.
The 1-1 to Chapman. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. How about the Blue Jays? They're finally having the chance to play back in Canada, back home in Toronto. We'll be there later this season. Good pitch, and it's 2-2. 670 days, Brad, that they had between their final home game in 2019 and then their homecoming, if you will, July 30th of last season. They played in Dunedin, they played in Buffalo, all the road games, but never at their home in Toronto.
I don't know how you do it. I really don't. And you think about the baseball part of it is hard enough. It's hard to ever even get your creature comforts. But these guys are also, they're grown-ups, so they have families, they have kids. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
Lined into right. And the catch made on the run by Donovan. That's the part I was thinking about. You know, for some of the young guys, is it easy? No. But those that have families and young kids, and you're thinking about school systems or where you're going to live. Where do we go? Where do we pack up?
Yeah.
Do we have a place to stay? I mean, those are real issues that they have.
Well, I'm guessing that a lot of families probably chose just to stay wherever their home base is, but that puts a lot of stresses on families also.
Pitch is popped up right side. And the catch will be made by Nolan Gorman. 2 quick outs. Stats with lows, and I know this is a pitch that you think has been effective this year, and it is the slider for Miles Michaelis.
So really interesting here. So 34.5% in zone. That's the 6th lowest. Yet he's getting nearly 70% strikes with it. The thing about his slider is it looks like a strike coming out of his hand and then just dives off the plate, and it's too good. Hitters offer at it all the time and either get weak contact or get some swing and miss off of that pitch. But it all is set up by how he's in control of counts, and he gets ahead. That's why he's got everybody in swing mode.
The strike to Bradley Zimmer, doubled off the wall in center, and that was a leadoff double back in the 3rd, and he had nobody out, and the Blue Jays couldn't bring him in. Now you think about it, it's an American League team. They're used to the DH. You go to the top of the lineup, but for a team that is struggling with runners in scoring position, it might have been a time that you think about bunt. However, George Springer could give you 2 runs with 1 swing of the bat.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're allowed to say the B word on TV. It's 2022, Dan.
Yeah.
You don't see too many people, too many teams dropping down that bunt anymore. But you're right. Sometimes you have to figure out ways to manufacture some offense. If you're not getting it done, they are the worst team in baseball with runners in scoring position. So how do you shift it?
And the 1-2 right down the middle, and he struck him out. Looking for something else, and that's 5 strikeouts for Michaelis tonight. He is locked in. Coming up, it's Dickerson, Bader, Kisner, and a 1-0 St. Louis lead. Games live or on demand, and MLB Big Inning and select pregame and postgame coverage. MLB.tv for details. 7, 8, 9 for St. Louis. Dickerson, Bader, Kisner. Cardinals have out-hit the Blue Jays 4-2, and they lead it 1-0. Popped up, left field line, foul territory, and strike 1 on Corey Dickerson.
I wonder if this is going to continue to be the approach for Barrios against Dickerson. He got him to fly out to left in his first at-bat on a fastball. Dickerson has struggled with the fastball this year, hitting 143 coming into action against fastballs. Just not able to catch up to him. So we'll see if Barrios continues to try to do that or if he pulls the string. I think you might end up doing Dickerson a favor if you throw him off speed for a strike.
Third baseman Chapman near the shortstop position as if the infield would be drawn in. 3 on the right side, and that pitch taken upstairs, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Dickerson, I would assume, might get a little bit of a run here with the injuries in the outfield. But also, like we said earlier, you have Lars Nootbaar just had 3 home runs in the minor leagues yesterday. You want to give him a shot, and then how are you going to take Brendan Donovan out of this lineup?
You want competition, right? If you're Ollie Marmol, that's what you want. You want a lot of guys that are up there fighting for at-bats. For Dickerson, it might be nice, like you said, to be playing a position and get everyday at-bats.
And a high fly ball into right field. Hernandez under it, and he'll make the catch.
It's difficult for a guy his whole career hasn't done the DH job and then kind of gets thrust into that. Playing does something, takes your mind off of the at-bats, but either way, you got to be able to produce, and Ollie's going to put guys out there who he believes gives them the best chance.
So the BJC injury report: Steven Matz, left shoulder impingement; Dylan Carlson, left hamstring issue. So Both those guys on the IL. Here's Bader. 7 for his last 18 with a home run. He's driven in 4 in the past 4 games. As a matter of fact, he has 12 runs batted in this month, and the most since last September for him when he had 18. And he's hit the ball on the button twice tonight, but nothing to show for it, and 0 for 2. Saw Steven Matz down in the clubhouse very briefly, and he said, "How you doing? How's it feel?" He said, "I'll be all right. Should be fine." But I think the Cardinals want to be extremely cautious with him, as this is only game number 42.
Yeah, you have a lot of time left in the season, and you've got 4 years with Steven Matz. You don't sign that guy to that contract and not think he's going to be a huge part of what you're doing here for the foreseeable future. So you got to make sure he's right.
Then you think about Rondon yesterday. Matz 4 pitches total in the game. And then Rondon comes in and gives the Cardinals 5 very good innings, much needed innings. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over near the St. Louis dugout. In an 8-pitch inning, we head to the 6th, and it's 1-0. With his daughter and the T-Mobile coverage cam. Look at Busch Stadium here in St. Louis. And Tim has been a longtime producer of pre and post games, specialty shows, Cardinal baseball. One of the great people that we have behind the scenes. That's his wife Angela there. Their beautiful family, and Trokes, Professor Trokey, as we know, is one of the best.
The hard worker. I can't believe he got a day off to actually come to a game.
Good point. You know, we are working on a big Hall of Fame show, and maybe I need to call the bosses at Bally Sports and say, "Hey, get on Trokey." Out to left in a line drive home run, George Springer. I guess that's why you don't bunt with George Springer. Home run for the leadoff man of the Blue Jays, number 8. Woo.
Yeah, I'm not sure why anybody would ever bring up bunting with that guy. There is, this year, there's been one ball that he hits really well, and it's away and up, and that's where this one is. He's able to get his arms extended, and you're right, this is a line drive, 114 miles an hour off the bat on the slider up in the zone by Michaelis. Hasn't made too many mistakes tonight. That's one.
So I guess, partner, that's what you call a line drive that turns into a home run. Wow. Ball was smoked.
I think that to me, that's what I would want as a hitter. I'm not trying to hit home runs. I'm trying to hit line drives. They turn into home runs. You start driving liners all over the place.
They have the home run jacket. Certain teams will put guys in a basket and roll them right down the dugout.
Red Sox
get the home run chain. Arenado. That is offline, but a foul ball.
We see do a chain. The Orioles definitely had a chain.
Yep. It was taken from the 1978 broadcast of NBC Sports Golf, and they just converted that into a home run jacket.
That looks good.
It really does.
Pretty stifling in the summer.
I would imagine, though, if they put it on you in a blistering hot day, you're okay with it.
That means you did something right.
Exactly. 1-2 the count on Espinal, who is 1 for 2. And the next by Michaelis. The fly ball lifted out to right on the move. Donovan, and he's there to make the catch. And while we have a moment, quick word from Ryan Kelly.
Scratched again.
Game needs a little work, Danny.
You know who will never put you behind the 8 ball?
Ryan Kelly, thehomeloanexpert.com.
We want to talk about some really good commercials. Home Loan Expert. You might want to hop on the bandwagon with myself and Jimmy. Just saying.
Might want to work on your pool game. Just a tad. Or was that acting?
No, that wasn't. No.
Rip a little felt over there.
Yeah. Ryan wasn't real happy. We were over at his house when we did that. Got a bill for that too.
It's a write-off of sorts somehow.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is walked in, grounded out. Ooh, vicious swing, and it's 1-1.
Well, what did we talk about? Trying to get out of a slump in one swing. He found himself ahead in a count, which doesn't happen a lot with Miles Michaelis, but he drops in the big bender.
Take it for a ball. Bill and Mary Walsh celebrated an anniversary. It's their 57th wedding anniversary. And watching tonight as Guerrero hits it out of play. Talked about his dad earlier. So Dominican-born players, 2,000 games played, 400 home runs, 2,500 hits. Pujols, Manny, Beltre, Guerrero. The 2-2 hits sharply. Edman up. Oh, what a play, Tommy Edman, as he robs Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
The Cardinals have been answering a lot of questions recently. Can Nolan Gorman play second? Looks like it. Can Tommy Edman? Can he play shortstop? I would say so. Ranges out, full extension, pops up, and shows off the arm right here. It's a nice throw.
Two away. Now it's Bichette. Fly to right and struck out. That pitch taken for a ball. Coming into play tonight, Michaelis, 8 starts, 5 of which have been quality starts, and he's yet to allow 3 or more earned in any start this year. That's how good he has been. Came in with an ERA of 1.68 in the 1-1. The last 5 to do that for the Cardinals, 1.68 or lower, at a whip. Walks, hits, innings pitched under 1 through 8 starts. You had Michaelis. Shelby Miller was very good in 2013. Chris Carpenter, John Tudor, and Bob Gibson. That is exclusive company. Off the end of the bat. Shallow right center. Racing in. Bader also Donovan. Oh, it's a sliding catch. Bader, the Gold Glover. And a couple of Gold Glove plays here in the top of the 6th. Tommy Edman and Harrison Bader avoiding the collision. Blues and Avalanche coming up tonight. Read number 40, Brad.
Oh, it is Blues and Avalanche tonight. We're going to have post-game coverage from the team who knows the Blues the best. That's our team over at Bally Sports. Tune in Blues Live post-game tonight after the game on Bally Sports Midwest. That crew's ready for it, Dan. Right there.
You saved me, Brad. Thank you. Something got in my throat.
Just your emotions.
I think so.
You're ready for game 4 tonight.
Well, the way this game is going, we might be able to get down to Enterprise and check out hockey.
Look, Dan, I don't have tickets, but what I do have is a friendship with a man who is like a ticket to the city. That's you. So you, me, cruise on over to Enterprise. Oh, ball game, of course.
If we have ball game, we're definitely in.
We are good.
Yeah.
Jim Hayes is going to come with us.
Yep. Here's the 1-2. Just missed. You would, though, knowing you in ball game, because you know you guys played on a World Series team that won. And as Tommy grounds it to first, you would make Jim go get your popcorn and sodies, hot dogs. You wouldn't let Jim enjoy the game, and that's not right. So I'll sit with Jim.
Jim Hayes?
Yeah, I'll take care of Jim.
Absolutely not. No, we would be fully accommodating. We're all in this together.
Now Nolan Gorman. And Gorman hits it out to left center. And there is Zimmer for out number 2.
Talking about the Blues and the Cardinals. It's been so fun to see the connection between these two franchises. You know, the city really comes together. Cardinal players, they're at Blues games during the playoffs, showing out, just showing the love. The Blues do the same thing when they get the opportunity to come here. You got to love seeing that.
And now it is Paul Goldschmidt. A lot of that is due to the fact that the ownership groups have great, tremendous mutual admiration for each other's franchise and the sport. And the 1-0. Bill DeWitt the third. You'll find him skating with the Blues alumni all the time. He is a massive Blues fan, and Tom Stillman, very much a huge baseball fan as well as hockey. It's great. Goldie is 0 for 2 tonight. A couple of strikeouts.
Pretty good pitch right there. When he locates that fastball away, Barrios is tough.
And Goldie, a rare 3 strikeout night. 0 for 3. 7 strikeouts for the Blue Jays right-hander. We move to the 7th, and we're tied 1-1.
Liberatore made his big league debut in Pittsburgh on Saturday, then was sent back to Memphis. Now he's back with the Cardinals. Liberatore told me it was a long 24 hours, felt like a week. Flew back to Memphis yesterday, got to unpack, did some laundry. Then I got the call, so I packed my bag again and drove here this morning. On his first big league start, Liberatore told me it was something I was dreaming about since I was 5 years old. It was a bit surreal and a little nerve-wracking, but I got it out of the way, and now I'm ready to go. Danny, he'll start on Saturday.
So Jimmy, he was with us over the weekend as Hernandez hits it to short, couple of hops. Edman makes the play. So just going back, did he make it back to Memphis and then drove to St. Louis?
Little laundry.
Because they were at the very tail end.
Yeah,
they were at the tail end of a road trip with Memphis when he got with the club in Pittsburgh.
So he went back to Memphis, did a little laundry, and packed his bag again. He was glad to do so. Then he drove to St. Louis. I was talking to Mo about what he saw from Liberatore. They liked a lot. Obviously, there were some nerves adjusting to the major league strike zone, but they believe that he'll be a tick better in his next start, Danny.
All right, thank you. And this is Kirk at the plate. I wonder if Matthew helped out Nolan Gorman. Now, those two have been, longtime friends. Everybody has heard that story since basically 4 or 5. They played baseball together. Their dads coached together. And then here they are at pro baseball playing together. But they had told me that they, for the longest time, were rooming together, too. So Nolan has been with the Cardinals. And again, he was on the tail end of the road trip with Memphis. I wonder if Matthew was able to help him out and bring some clothes for Nolan.
Are you wondering if Matthew did Nolan's laundry also?
I'm not saying he did his laundry. I'm just wondering if he went into the sock drawer.
I bet he would. He's a good teammate. You guys are best buddies. You do whatever you need.
Absolutely. And that'll be a base hit into center. Alejandro Kirk. And he's 1 for 3. And now a quick word from Tickets for Less.
Tickets for Less.
for a better ticketing experience. Best seats, best prices, and no surprises at checkout. So the one-out base hit for Kirk. Pitch count at 81 for Michaelis. No activity in either bullpen. And it's Matt Chapman. Cardinals are in the top 3 of double plays turned in all of baseball.
Well, with Chapman just stayed down. He's got 6 home runs this year. They've all been elevated. I don't like to live there. Not with him.
Colorado has turned 48. Baltimore 44. The Cardinals 40 double plays turned coming into play tonight. Very short lead at first by Kirk. And the 0-1.
Dan, going back to Matthew Liberatore quickly, I'm excited for him that he's getting another opportunity. And not, I mean, you hate the reason why as Steven Matz heads to the IL, but just to get another one. Saw some good things. You saw him fall behind a little bit in counts. Get another one, get that first time jitters out, and then go to work. This is going to be a big game this weekend. Think about the atmosphere on Saturday. You got the Brewers in town. That's the team that you're chasing. This place is going to be packed full of people. It's a big game for Matthew Liberatore, but he's ready for it. The stuff is ready. You've seen it. Excited for him.
The 2-1 pitch. What did you like over the weekend when you saw that start on Saturday?
Yeah, so the first inning, 1-2-3. I like the big breaking ball that he's got. I like the poise that he has on the mound. It's just going to be about getting the ball down. I think that sometimes when you're overly amped up for an outing, like a debut, you try to throw too hard or your body's just going a little bit too fast, and we saw him miss up in the zone. If he locates down, he's going to be just fine. That's where we saw him in the minor leagues. He was spotting up his fastball. He was getting ahead of a lot of guys. He was 45% first pitch strikes, 10 for 22. That's not going to cut it. You just got to be able to get ahead a little bit more. But those first game jitters, that's a real thing.
Runner at first is Kirk, and the 3-2. Fouled away. Liberatore was 1 out away from being able to qualify for a win too, and he got the first 2 in the bottom of the 5th on Saturday night, and then 4 straight reached and didn't qualify, but yet the Cardinals won that game and picked up a sweep in Pittsburgh. Outfield straightaway, they are deep, and the 3-2. The second walk issued by Michaelis. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. will be the batter, the 8th place hitter, and now Mike Maddox coming out to slow him down just a bit, and they start to scurry in the St. Louis bullpen. Andre Palante begins to throw.
I like the pitch selection there actually by Miles Michaelis. We showed the graphic earlier about how much swing that he gets on that slider, just a little bit too far off the plate. Chapman doesn't offer. But you know this about Miles Michaelis and pretty much all of the Cardinal starters. You just had the numbers for how many double plays they turn. You're 1 pitch away. You're that 1 pitch away, whether it's a slider that he ends up getting Gurriel to reach on or it's a sinker. You're 1 ground ball away from getting out of this inning and getting through 7.
Well, Gurriel, this was the guy you did not want to face a year ago with runners in scoring position. He hit .368. He led the American League. But this year, a different story. 3 for 27. That's a 111 average. So the tale of 2 different seasons.
Maybe this team liked being road warriors last year. The numbers were really good. With Gurriel, by the way, stay away from him. You will get him to extend. If you're going to go in off the plate.
And the first pitch to him.
Good pitch right there. Good spot. You get that from home plate umpire Edwin Moscaso. You keep going there.
Home plate umpires had a very consistent and good zone tonight. Outstanding. Outfield is straight away, and the 0-1. If it's off the plate or low, it's barely. Might have been the same pitch.
I think it was the same pitch. Good spot. Go right back to it. You'll get him to extend. That pitch right there, if he tries to pull it, that's your 6-4-3.
And the 1-1. Line foul. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Boy, Michaelis has been in a bunch of tight games already this year. Alcantara, the Scherzer game here. Last week it was a 3-1 loss that he had to take, but the game was tight the entire way. And here tonight we're tied 1-1, and it's starting to get late.
Never once this season have we seen that weigh on him at all either.
No.
He just goes out there. He doesn't feel like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. He just goes out and executes pitches. Believes that the offense will get rolling behind him.
So he stayed away, as Brad mentioned. Consistently here, staying away, and it's now a count of 2-2. Kirk at second base, Chapman at first. Inning started with a ground out by Hernandez. Kirk had the base hit into center. Chapman drew the 1-out walk. Runners at first and second. And a big pitch here, the 2-2. And a full count. Cardinals will have Arenado, Yepez, Donovan looking ahead to the home half of the 7th. 4th full count of the night for Michaelis, and now time is called.
What we saw in this spot against Chapman, it was the slider that he went with. Does he do it again? You got to know if you're Michaelis, you end up losing this guy, it might be your last.
And a fly ball into right. Donovan is there. He'll make the catch. And the Blue Jays will have runners at first and third after the tag up by Kirk from second to third. Reminder that we have a Tommy Edman bobblehead coming up. That giveaway is Tuesday, May 31st. Worldwide racing night here at the ballpark. Cardinals.com/theme, and you'll get a ticket to the practice for the NASCAR Cup Series, also the NASCAR Truck Series qualifying. Cardinals.com/theme. Zimmer doubled off the wall in center, was stranded back in the 3rd, and called out on strikes in the 5th. Strike one.
Michaelis goes with a slider. It backs up a little bit, but it's still above the zone. Zimmer can't get to it. The double that he had, it was in an advantageous count. Michaelis had fallen behind 2-0 in the driver's seat now.
The 0-1. Pulled foul, and it's 0-2. Michaelis, as we mentioned before, 3 of the 8 starts decided by 2 runs. Has allowed 1 earned or less in 5 of 8, and trying to send us to the home half of the 7th. No balls and 2 strikes.
We saw Zimmer aggressive on the pitch up. He calls time and steps out. Have some options here. You can elevate or you can drop that curveball. You got to make sure it's down.
What would you do?
Sure Kisner blocks it.
What are you going with here?
I would elevate the fastball.
That's what I like. The 0-2. Pulled foul.
That curveball there too. I mean, you got yourself a tie ball game. You have to have all the trust that Kisner's going to be able to block that thing when you bounce it. I think Andrew Kisner has grown so much in the last year behind the plate. We've talked a lot about him being able to suck up that low strike in the zone, but his work ethic behind there, him blocking balls, I think he's done a really nice job. I like this pitch right here.
Another 0-2. That's the one we're talking about there.
It serves multiple purposes. You might not get him to swing through it, but then all of a sudden, if you throw your curveball off of that, the starting point is the same. So he's going to be a little off on that one. Or you could double up and go right back to it. Maybe that same fastball, more middle, but up.
And the 1-2 pitch by Michaelis. And he hit him. And the bases will be loaded. Not trying to do that clearly on a 1-2. And the bases will be loaded for George Springer, who has homered here tonight. The pitch count at 99. And the question now for Ali and Mike Maddox, do you go get him here, or do you say it's your game to win or lose? And there's our answer.
Well, Miles Michaelis fighting in this game, thought he was going to be able to get through this 7th inning, and the pitch was right. The fastball just got it way too far in there on Zimmer, and a big spot for Palante, but nice job here by Miles Michaelis.
The base is loaded. Springer coming up, who is homered tonight. Brought to you by BMW. Experience the ultimate driving machine at a BMW center near you. By CarShield. CarShield cars go farther. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. He is the owner of 6 career Grand Slams. George Springer, who is homered here tonight. The top of the lineup for the Blue Jays. Miles Michaelis, 6 2/3, and now turns it over to the bullpen. And it's the young rookie Andre Palante and our Chevy called to the pen.
What a spot here for Palante. He's gone 7 scoreless outings in a row. But this is about as high leverage as you're going to get. Tie ball game late, bases loaded, with a guy with quite a resume, as you mentioned, up here. You're going to see what you've got in Palante.
And the first pitch, Palante to Springer. Inning starting with a ground out. And then Kirk. Single to center. The walk to Chapman. Gurriel fly to right. Zimmer hit by a pitch with 2 strikes. Springer is 1 for 3 tonight. It was his 8th home run. And the 0-1 pitch by Andre Palante. 1-1. So Michaelis, all he can do now is watch. One ball and 1 strike. 2 balls and a strike. It's that swing pitch that we talk about all the time. The 1-1. Do you go to 2-1 or 1-2? In this case, a breaking ball missed low and outside.
Yeah, those are not the counts you want to get in against a guy like Springer. But the key is to stay down, stay away from him. We saw the slider that he hit out of the ballpark earlier was elevated. Key for Palante is down.
The 2-1. Going to come back to get him. 3 balls, 1 strike with the bases loaded. The next to Springer. He walked him. And Toronto has a lead, 2-1. Santiago Espinal, 1 for 3 tonight. 2 walks in the inning, and the bases loaded walk puts the Blue Jays on top here in the top of the 7th.
You had to score another one to win this ball game anyhow, but you got to keep it right there.
Espinal, his first pitch to him is taken low. He's 3 for 10 in his career with the bases loaded. Palante shaking his head. Right-handers are hitting .382 against Andre. The lefties .135. The 1-0 pitch. A ball and a strike. And the 1-1. It'll find the seats out of play, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. It's 4 hits aside, and the difference right now, a bases loaded walk moments ago issued to George Springer. Kept in front by Kisner.
A nice job back there by Andrew. And for Andre Palante, the spot is huge. You ended up walking in a guy, but you don't have to be perfect here, and you don't have to try to do too much and throw the best breaking ball you've ever thrown in your life. Just locate. Just locate.
Big pitch, 2-2 with the bases loaded. The next by Palante. Again, the home plate umpire has been pretty darn good tonight and consistent.
Yes, I mean, this is just off the plate away. You'd love to be able to get that one as a pitcher. 96, but just not quite there.
And the 3-2 by Palante. (3-1) Toronto.
Remember, 3 batter minimum here. Palante's faced 2. He's walked them both. Mike Maddox going to go out, talk to him, try to slow him down a little bit. Vlad Guerrero Jr. walked in his first at bat. He's struggled. We mentioned it earlier. Hasn't had an extra base hit since May 5th. With Dan, you know, he's due at some point.
Nick Whitgren is throwing in the St. Louis bullpen. You know, win or lose, one of the first questions to Ollie was, give us your thought process on Michaelis and taking him out of the game and going with Palante or anybody in your bullpen. But, you know, you're in those spots as a manager. Do you stick with Miles Michaelis? And I'm sure there's people at home saying, absolutely, I stick with him. Others are saying, no, maybe he's on fumes. He's gone well over 100 pitches last couple of starts. You're early in a season. And that is the beauty of the game. But regardless of that, you got to have somebody come in and throw strikes.
Yes, for sure. And I think that there are a lot of things that go into it. First of all, they have a better feel for how their guys are feeling in the pen. But you think Helsley, maybe even Gio in a big spot like that. You never know.
So 2 outs and the base is loaded. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. chops it to third. Arenado will step on the bag. But the Blue Jays have gained a 2-run lead after 2 bases loaded walks, and it's time to stretch. Kevin Goldschmidt and Jordan Hicks, pair of right-handers, and our coverage beginning at 6 tomorrow right here on Valley Sports Midwest. Barrios now with a lead for the first time tonight, 3-1 in favor of the Blue Jays. And the Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. So Nolan Arenado, 2 hits tonight. Career hit number 1,400 in the second. And also he scored his 750th run. And there's 4 outfielders here for Nolan Arenado. I don't recall a time that we saw this earlier this season or last year against Nolan.
I have not seen this at all against Nolan Arenado.
I mentioned Matt Carpenter earlier with his time in St. Louis and going to Wrigley, and Joe Madden did that. Matt Carpenter, by the way, just asked for his release from AAA with the Rangers. He actually was putting up pretty good numbers. And it is popped up to the right side. Guerrero is over and it's out of play. I wonder from a hitter's perspective and even a pitcher's perspective what they're thinking when they see this alignment of 4 outfielders.
Yeah, I doubt it really affects you too much from a hitter's perspective. You better be honed in on what Barrios is doing, right? So you can't worry about how those guys are all out there. But that defensive alignment does take away the gaps a little bit for you.
And look at right, too, how shallow they are as Arenado fouls it back. So very deep into the left field corner. That's Gurriel, and then going all the way towards the right field line. That's as shallow as you'll see a right fielder play Nolan Arenado.
Well, there's no guessing in the game nowadays, so I would venture to think that when you look at the spray charts, that's exactly what it's telling you.
And the 0-2. Arenado hits it to short. Bichette, and he makes the play. First time that Nolan has been retired. He's 2 for 3. And now a quick word from BJC.
Getting back to normal feels like so much more than just normal. BJC is committed to improving the health of our patients and community.
There's Juan Yepez. Fly to right and popped out. 0 for 2. The Cardinals with 4 hits tonight. The Blue Jays with 4, but they get a couple of bases loaded walks to take the lead.
Look at that fastball by Barrios. I mean, he's 93 to 95. It looks a lot harder than that. It's got that late movement, an arm side run.
We'll see a guy tomorrow that's very tough, and Goldschmidt, 2.52 ERA, and he was magnificent last year with the Giants. Pitch taken low, and it's 2-1.
Now, you talked about it earlier. That Blue Jays rotation, that's a big time strength for them. Alek Manoah, the young kid, he's putting up big numbers again.
Hammered out to deep left. And it is gone! A line shot off the bat of Juan Yepez. His 4th home run. Yeah, I'd be shaking my hand too. That was a bullet out there. Be careful, as Juan has pulled the Cardinals to within 1.
I thought Springer's home run in the 6th inning got out of here quickly. No, this one comes in at 93, leaves a heck of a lot faster from Juan Yepez. Jumps all over this fastball, middle in. and it gets out in a hurry.
And now it's Donovan in a 3-2 Toronto lead. Nothing in 2. Donovan an RBI double back in inning number 2 and was called out on strikes back in the 4th. Berríos has struck out 7. 5 hits allowed and 2 runs. Pitch number 92. One and 2.
Spent some time earlier in the game just talking about how these young players have made such an impact. Strikes again. Juan Yepez, the rookie, came in leading all rookies in OPS with a big home run to bring it within 1.
The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri thanks to Juan Yepez. Albert can't get away from him.
Too bad. Yeah, you're stuck with me. That's what Juan's saying.
And Donovan slices one near the left field line, and going up that wall and nearly into the stands was Gurriel.
I love seeing that.
Pretty cool.
I mean, we talked about it earlier as Brendan Donovan was talking to Albert, sitting there next to him on the bench. When Albert is not in the game, he is still so engaged in every aspect of it and every one of his teammates.
This is where Donovan, I've really appreciated how he's gone about his business at the plate. You don't see him chase a lot. He works a count. He's become a tough out as this crowd has come alive here in game 1. And a 3-2 to Donovan. Spoiled.
Yeah, Brendan Donovan not afraid to make the pitcher work. 7 pitches so far this at bat. To your point, a really good eye. That was a nice breaking ball by Berríos 2 pitches ago that he's able to lay off of.
A 3-2 pitch. And Donovan picks up a base hit to left. Kid just battles, man. Really nice at bat, and he's 2 for 3 tonight. He's fun to watch.
He is fun to watch. It was the RBI double down the right field line in the 2nd inning. This time just fights off a fastball on the inner half and just keeps the line moving here.
So Yepez with that home run has scored in 5 straight. And with that, cut the lead to 3-2 with his 4th home run. No signal yet. And a right-hander, Trevor Richards, throwing in the bullpen for Toronto. On the bench for St. Louis, Nootbaar, we mentioned earlier, just called up along with Ivan Herrera, a young catcher that when he makes an appearance, it'll be his major league debut. He's the backup tonight. You have Sosa and Albert Pujols.
Trevor Richards up. Also the sidewinder, Adam Simber.
They carry 7 right-handed pitchers, 2 lefties. And here is Corey Dickerson, who is fly to left, fly to right, and Donovan at first. He's 0 for 2 tonight, takes a ball.
Well, and this has been the plan of attack for Berríos against Dickerson. It's been all hard. It's been all fastballs. Let's see if Dickerson can get the head out and catch one.
And the 1-0 instead of check on Donovan. And the 1-0. I don't know about you. I think you might be doing Dickerson a favor with how they're playing here defensively. They've got a shift on the right side, but his success has been at times, not always, but hitting the ball hard left side, where basically your third baseman would be, and that is Chapman, who's near the shortstop position but playing in.
Well, especially how late he's been on some of these fastballs.
It's almost as if he's trying to go that way too. If you're wondering, Toronto has allowed 22 stolen bases, 11th most in the major leagues. And now with 2 strikes, even the more exaggerated shift here. And the 1-2 pitch to Dickerson. That's what he's trying to do.
Oh, right there especially. So Dickerson also, we talk a lot about it with Juan Yepes, but Dickerson has been doing this all season as well. With 2 strikes, he spreads out a little bit. He was trying to hit a chopper to third base right there.
Now, if I'm the Blue Jays and I see that, sometimes I can't worry about what the numbers say in a book. I've got to read what's happening in the game.
Well, you're seeing it happen here. You're seeing him shift over a little bit more.
And very shallow out in left field as Dickerson hits it into right center. That ball is down. Donovan on his way to third, diving in head first, safe, and it's runners at the corners for St. Louis. Little hesitation there by Donovan, but no harm done.
And a heck of an at-bat by Dickerson right here. Spreads out and just, that's all hands right there. Just shoots that thing in. It was all fastballs against Barrios. Shoots that one into center. There's a little hesitation there by Donovan, but he turns on the afterburners. He hates his helmet. That thing flies off. That's looking good. Got some energy again.
Pitching change coming up. Runners at the corners and 1 down in the home half of the 7th. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try Jack in the Box's popcorn chicken combos for $5.99. Get a classic, spicy, or 50-50. And by BJC Healthcare, the world's best medicine made better. The right-hander, Adam Simber. He's got 4 wins coming out of the pen. 5th most in the American League. Acquired from Miami with Corey Dickerson, by the way. That was the Joe Panik deal. Panik just retired after winning a world championship with the Giants. Runners at the corners for St. Louis. Bader 1 for 1 against Simber, and he's hit the ball hard twice, but nothing to show for it tonight. And the first pitch taken inside for a ball.
Going to get a lot of that with Simber. He's sinker, slider, but it's mainly sinker. He's trying to get in your kitchen right there, get you to roll over on something. Ground ball specialist.
And the 1-0 pitch. Doesn't offer at it. 2-0. Kisner on deck. Barrios 6 1/3, 7 hits. He's responsible for the 2 runners on. Struck out 7, no walks, gave up a home run. This crowd ready to erupt here at Busch. The 2-0. 3-0. Lined out to left, grounded out sharply to third. The 3-0 pitch. Swinging base hit into right on a 3-0, and the game is tied. Bader comes through. 3-3.
It had to be one place, one spot, for Harrison Bader here. 3-0 to be swinging. He gets it. I do too, man. In a situation like that, you know that Simber is, all he's trying to do is get back into that count. Why let him do that? And Harrison Bader jumps on that pitch, shoots it the other way. Man.
Smart.
It's good baseball.
Yeah. Runners now at first and second. 4 consecutive hits. The game is tied, and now it's Andrew Kisner. Kisner back to Simber. Out there. And they will turn 2 on a hard hit ball right back to Adam Simber. It all started with 1 out and nobody on. And the rookie sends a jolt through Busch Stadium. A line drive that turns out to be a home run. And that made it 3-2. The Cardinals have tied it. Third innings tonight for Miles Michaelis. Very good once again. Only 4 hits allowed. The BJC Healthcare difference maker. 3 runs, all earned, walked 2, and struck out 5. But again, he'll get a no decision tonight. Probably has fared a lot better fate tonight and some of the other starts he's had too.
No, you're absolutely right. Miles Michaelis went out there yet again, gave you an opportunity to win this game, got you deeper and deeper into the ball game. That's after 2 short starts. Well, one yesterday where Matt wasn't able to get an out. So look, a good job by him, and now it's Giovanni Gallegos' turn. Chevy called the bullpen.
So Giovanni over the weekend, inning at 2/3. It struck out 5, and that was on Friday night. And that's about as good as we've seen him look all year.
I think he's done a really nice job of establishing his fastball again. He's gotten back to it. It makes his slider even better.
There's a point of emphasis after the blown save against the Mets, and then you started looking back at his fastball usage, and he himself even went into the numbers and then started looking at video, and he went to Ollie, and Ollie didn't even have to say anything, even though he was going to, but Gallegos went to Ollie and said, I've got to get back to my fastball, and he said,
great idea.
You are 100% right. So that's what we've been seeing. Good ball game tonight. We're tied 3-3. And here is Bichette. That pitch taken high. Also, I think he's been more effective inside the strike zone in terms of just throwing strikes. He had 21 pitches the other night. 16 were strikes. It's Bichette, Hernandez, and Kirk for the Blue Jays. And the 1-0 by Giovanni Gallegos. Fastball again. It's up. 2 balls and no strikes. Looking into the Cardinals bottom of the 8th, it'll be the top of their lineup.
And they fight back in this ball game, and you got to love seeing them just pick up their teammates. You know, Palante feels terrible. He comes into that ball game, walks a couple in, but you fight right back. That's what good teams do. You fall short in one aspect, you pick it back up with something else.
And the 2-0 pitch taken for a strike. Right-handers hitting just 200 against Gallegos, and the lefties at 280. He's allowed just 1 home run this year, and that was to a right-handed batter.
It's that good fastball right there at the bottom of the zone, and that's the one that his slider thrown off of that pitch, you'll swing at stuff that hits the plate.
The 2-1 in the air, long way to go. Near the line, and the catch made by Brendan Donovan. He's been busy tonight. The Budweiser plays of the game. Let him hit it, and this is why, Brad.
Hey, you got gold everywhere. Well, platinum there.
Yeah.
Nolan Arenado, he makes a play. How about Tommy Edmondson? Can he play short? Yeah, he played short in the minors, played it in college, showed off the rocket arm, and then Harrison Bader. Great communication on this one. As 3 players converging on this ball, Harrison makes himself a diving play. That defense has been so good for the Cardinals, and even with all of the moving pieces, it still remains one of the biggest strengths of this ball club.
Teoscar Hernandez hitless tonight. 0 for 3. Strike 1.
So Hernandez saying, all right, well, I heard Giovanni Gallegos is reestablishing his fastball. I better jump on one early. Whoops. There's that invisible slider.
Would you call it a slider or do you call it a curve?
Well, I'm going to call it what he calls it. Okay, so he calls it a slider. It looks like a curveball.
Yeah. It's 12-6. The 0-1 to short. Edman. 2 away.
Giovanni Gallegos, this slider over the last couple of years has been so good, and coming out of his hand, it looks just like the fastball, but then the bottom just drops out of it. I mean, you see some of the funkiest swings from guys on that pitch. And that wasn't even his best one right there. That one had a bigger dot to it, or bigger circle on it. He throws even a tighter one.
Those are hard.
Yes, he does.
Alejandro Kirk grounded out to third, popped out to second, and singled to center and came around to score back in the 7th inning. Strike one. And the 0-1 pitch by Gallegos. A ball and a strike. The 16th game for Giovanni Gallegos. He's allowed now with the 2 outs recorded here. He's gone 15 1/3 and only 13 hits allowed. Only 4 walks and 17 strikeouts. 2 balls and a strike. Some talk today, visiting briefly with Andrew Kisner. They may attempt to use a little bit of the pitch count coming up this week.
Really?
We'll see if they implement that into the catching gear. Andrew said he would want it on his thigh, which is where some catchers are delivering the signals, not the wrist. The 2-1 pitch.
Guess it all depends on who's on the mound and how comfortable they are with the technology.
That's part of it. I mean, it's a two-way street for sure. But we may see that tomorrow with Jordan Hicks. Two outs and nobody on, and a 3-1 pitch by Gallegos. 3-2. Trevor Richards continues to throw in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Three balls, 2 strikes on Alejandro Kirk. Hit sharply to third. Taken there by Nolan Arenado. And a 1-2-3 for Giovanni Gallegos. Coming up, the top of the St. Louis lineup: Edman, Gorman, Goldie. StubHub, proud to be the official partner of the Cardinals. Plans change, and that happens all the time. You can list your tickets on StubHub, and all you have to do is download the StubHub app today. A lot of energy in the building tonight. We're tied 3-3. Trevor Richards pitched against the Reds yesterday, 2/3 of an inning. No hits, no runs, walked a man, and had a strikeout at 14 pitches. It's our Chevy call to the pen. Tommy Edman hitless tonight. As a matter of fact, the top 3, Edman, Gorman, Goldie, are a combined 0 for 9.
Well, no better time than right now to get something rolling. You'll see a lot of that from Richards against the lefties. It's all fastball changeup. Righties he'll mix in the slider, but very rarely throws it to lefties.
There's an 0-1 pitch. Tommy Edman against relievers this year, 339. You're talking about specialist or late inning guys, power pitchers. And the 1-1, 2-1.
Well, everything so far, the 3 pitches that Richards has thrown, everything's been upstairs. First pitch, changeup for a strike. It was up. A couple of fastballs way up above the zone. Tommy Edman has a really good feel for the strike zone up.
The 2-1 hit to the right side and on a hop to the second baseman Espinal, and he puts away Tommy Edman for the first out. So lefties come in against Richards with only 5 hits this season. 5 for 27. That's a 185 average. He has allowed a home run to the left-handed batters and 9 strikeouts. Here's Nolan Gorman in his St. Louis Cardinal home debut. He's hitless tonight.
Pretty good changeup right there by Richards.
The shift on the right side. And the 0-1. Another changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Gorman fouls it back. By the way, do you notice how Nolan Gorman, Juan Yepes, Brendan Donovan, you don't see these guys leave the box. They're used to a pitch clock and they stay in there.
They got trained. It can work.
Yes. The 1-2. I'd also say that Liberatore worked quickly on Saturday, dealing with a pitch clock for his pro career. And now it is 2-2. The young slugger, Nolan Gorman. Here it comes. 3-2. Just stays in the box and says, let's go. And a 3-2 pitch. Good at bat.
A good eye right there. Saw the changeup up out of the hand. Just misses the corner. But you know that's not where Richards trying to throw that pitch. That changeup, he's trying to bury it down. And you got Goldie up, who very rarely, as you mentioned, has a day like he's having right now. He has been so hot in the month of May. Right guy, right spot.
0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Could change that with 1 swing. And a pitch high. Arenado is on deck. Ryan Helsley throwing in the St. Louis bullpen. The batting leaders average wise. Goldie second at .335. And the 1-0. Goldschmidt grounds it left side. The turn and a double play. And that'll send us to the 9th. 5-4-3 on the double play. We're tied 3-3. Presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. It's a brief 2-game set, the Blue Jays and the Cardinals, and we move to the 9th of Game 1, and we're tied 3-3. The numbers have just been ridiculous this season for Ryan Helsley.
Ryan Helsley has been striking out the world, and when he's not doing that, he's getting weak contact, lots of ground balls. You know about the triple digits velocity, but he's spotting it up wherever he wants it. He's got a couple of breaking balls that he's throwing for strikes as well.
Crowd tonight of 36,033. 36033. It's 7-8-9. Chapman, Gurriel, and Zimmer. Ryan Helsley, 2 hits allowed the entire year. The right-handers are hitting .025 against him. 0 for 25. The fly ball, deep left center, and that stays in the ballpark as the catch is made by Bader. You can still sign up for the Cardinals 5K virtual run. Participants receive an exclusive 5K pullover, finisher medallion featuring Bob Gibson, and proceeds benefit Cardinals Care, Redbird Rookies, and Girls on the Run St. Louis. Register at cardinals.com/5K. Romano is the closer for the Blue Jays, getting loose in their pen, and Merriweather as well. There's Gurriel, who is hitless tonight. So the league right now against Ryan Helsley, Brad, is 2 for 47. The 0-1. And it's 0-2 with 1 out and nobody on.
Couple of good sliders here, and if you're Gurriel, you got to think, okay, well, now is this where 100 comes? I got to be able to protect all of that. You could see Ryan Helsley elevate here, maybe even throw that slider even further off the plate. But the numbers bear it out. Ryan Helsley, one of the most dominant relievers in all of baseball.
And an 0-2. So with the flyout by Chapman, he's now at an even 15 innings with 25 strikeouts and 2 hits allowed. The amazing thing is that he's blowing people away, obviously, with those numbers, but he's only walked 2. Trying to keep that going here. And the 1-2 pitch. I think he slipped a little bit trying to land there.
They might have. That thing popped out of his hand a little bit high. That was the slower curveball instead of the harder slider. Tell you what, after that fastball that was up and into Gurriel, you throw that tight slider away, he's got no chance.
And the 2-2.
Ooh, that's the pitch right there on the corner. Doesn't get the call. A good pitch. Better take by Gurriel.
The full count delivery from Ryan Helsley. Grounded foul.
That's a pitch right there that Ryan Helsley, earlier in his career, he could not throw. A 3-2 breaking ball that he'd have the confidence in that he could throw for a strike. It just wasn't there. That's the next level for him. You knew in years past, 3-2. I mean, he's coming with the heater. This one, he's got Gurriel out on the front foot.
And the 3-2 pitch to Gurriel. But Gurriel is just selling out and saying, I'm going to try to catch up.
That was one right there, too, where Ryan Helsley was trying to go away with that fastball and end up just tailing in. I think that's the only reason that Gurriel was able to get some bat on it.
This is the 100th career appearance for Ryan Helsley in the big leagues. And another 3-2 pitch to Gurriel. So a 1-out walk. And this would be Raimel Tapia, who we saw with the Colorado Rockies. So Tapia will pinch hit for Zimmer. Been a good player against St. Louis. 306 hitter. He's got very good speed. Be tough to double up. Hits from the left side. And this is their one left-handed bat that they have on their bench. The backup catcher is Danny Jansen. And Vinny Capra hits from the right side. So Tapia pinch hitting for Bradley Zimmer, who was on base twice tonight. It's the 5th walk that the Blue Jays have received in this game. Michaelis went 6 2/3. Palante, 3rd of an inning, did have 2 bases loaded walks. Gallegos, a 1-2 3/8, and now Helsley. Fastball and a strike. This is why this job in this league is awfully tough.
I was just thinking the same thing. You're sitting around, you're watching this ball game for 8 innings. You get 99 on the corner.
$100 down and in. Arenado is in at 3rd. And the outfield shading just a bit towards left center. Shallow in right. That's Donovan. Helsley currently best in walks per 9, hits per 9, whip and strikeouts per 9 in the relief corps of all of Major League Baseball. That's how good he has been this year. 1-2.
About this one here, you're geared up for 100. Pulls the string with the changeup.
Sells it too.
Yes,
so well.
He does. Well, that's the key. Like if you throw a changeup and you slow down your arm, everybody is going to be able to see it. The grip does the work, takes the velocity off.
And the 1-2 fouled back. 102 on the gun from Helsley. Cardinals in the bottom of the 9th will have Arenado. Yepez, who is homered. Arenado has 2 hits tonight, and Brendan Donovan due up 3rd. He has a pair of hits.
The trio sounds like it's got fireworks written all over it.
We shall see. And the 1-2. Little tapper that is foul. You agree with me? There's some energy here at the ballpark tonight.
Oh, for sure. We were talking about it a little bit earlier tonight, but 36,000 plus on a Monday night against the Blue Jays. The Blues are playing game 4 right down the street. Fans have been into this, waiting to erupt with a late inning victory. It's going to be a really fun homestand. Got the 2 here against the Blue Jays, 4 against the Brewers, 3 against the Padres. Big test.
A short lead at first by Gurriel. And a 1-2 pitch by Helsley. Swing and a miss. Held on to by Kisner. May have got a little piece of it, but Andrew was able to hold on.
Yeah, really good job by Andrew Kisner back there to get this foul tip. Nice slider by Ryan Helsley that ends up burying Tapia.
George Springer is brought in 2 tonight. Solo home run in the 6th. And a bases loaded walk in the 7th. 2 outs, runner at first, shift on the left side, and the first pitch taken for a ball.
I think Helsley can get Springer swinging with some weak contact on his slider away, but it's got to be down.
Outfield is straight away. The 1-0. Nasty pitch there. 1 ball and 1 strike. StatCast powered by Google Cloud. We've had a couple of balls that were hit out tonight that were similar in line drives that turned into home runs.
Looks like a tee shot.
And the 1-1 pitch. Helsley to Springer. On its way. Upstairs.
That reaction right there by Springer tells me he's really focusing away. He's looking away because that pitch wasn't that far inside. And he bounced back off the plate like it was in off the plate about 6-8 inches.
The 2-1. 2-2. Helsley trying to send us to the bottom of the ninth and tied at 3. Crowd comes alive. And it's out of play.
I don't even know how he got any bat on that hole. That's 100 way under the zone. Springer able to stay alive there.
The 2-2 again. Got underneath it. Going out, making the catch. Shortstop Tommy Edman. Scoreless inning, Ryan Helsley. The Cardinals back in the 7th were down by 2. And then Juan Yepez got things going. He's coming up, due up second when we come back. The first pitch tonight, and it was Julian Merriweather. This season, just activated, brought back up, and it's our Chevy call to the pen, and he'll be the 4th pitcher used by Toronto tonight. And Merriweather comes in. Nothing like just coming into a 3-3 game in the bottom of the 9th. Welcome back.
Hey, this is a way to stick around, right? You end up succeeding in a spot like this, but you got to like where the Cardinals are in their lineup. Nolan Arenado, a couple of hits. We showed the Juan Yepez home run. Donovan with a couple of knocks in this one. Let's get some fireworks in here.
The 4 outfielders, and the first pitch taken for a ball inside. So Arenado with 2 hits tonight, and he's been facing a defensive alignment with the Blue Jays with 3 infielders and 4 in the outfield. And the 1-0. Arenado, a drive out to left. Adios. No, it's off the top of the wall. And some of the fans thought it was gone.
I was right there with you. I thought this thing was out of here, and it stayed in, but not by much. Ball crushed.
How far did he miss it by? Did he get a piece of it all, you think, Brad, and brought it back at all, or just missed it? Oh, boy,
just
that
barely.
close.
Just barely. That was a great swing. Great start to this inning, though, by Nolan Arenado. The 4 outfielders that are out there still can't get to that one. You got a runner on second. Juan Yepez, who's been so hot. Here we go. Hear the crowd come alive.
They're on their fate. Yepez, with the Cardinals down by 2, homered back in the 7th. There's strike 1. 98 for Merriweather. 3 for 15 with runners in scoring position. It's a 3-hit night for Nolan Arenado, and he is the winning run out at second base. I've often wondered with PitchCom, when things get loud, will pitchers be able to hear what's happening in terms of the signs being given to him? And Merriweather has been struggling with that. The 0-1.
And notice that too after the first pitch. It was, I mean, this is Busch Stadium on a Monday, which is pretty loud for Major League Baseball, but it's not the playoffs.
No.
And it's not a packed house, and it's not that same atmosphere. So I'm sure there's some tweaks to that system. You got to get used to it. I want it to get louder right here. A spot that Juan Yepes has been so good in. As we talked about before, you don't necessarily like to see a guy get in the hole 0-2, but man, he just shortens up and figures out a way. Got a wide open right side for Yepes.
And the 0-2 popped up. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in foul territory makes the catch. Last time that we saw Toronto here in St. Louis, it was April 27th of 2017, and Matt Carpenter in game one of a doubleheader walked it off. We have more heroics tonight as they have walked now Donovan. And the batter will be Corey Dickerson. Well, you at least wanted to see Arenado get to third. Instead, it's runners at first and second. Dickerson has 2 hits tonight, a double, RBI. Ground ball right side, and they'll turn the double play. An inning that began with so much promise as Arenado was just a foot or two away from sending us home. And instead, the Blue Jays send us to extra innings. Pitched on the 20th against the Pirates just 3 days ago. That was a third of an inning, but rough outing. 3 hits, couple of runs. One of those was earned. And so he's back out there now for the top of the 10th. The final out was Springer, so I'm assuming he would be your runner at second base. Start with the runner at second base in extra innings, and one of the frustrating aspects of this game tonight from the Cardinals' perspective is the bases loaded back-to-back walks, which gave the Blue Jays a 3-1 lead at that time, but also the Cardinals have grounded into 3 double plays, and we've seen 4 double plays turned by the Blue Jays. There was also the strike him out, throw him out back in the 4th, double play in the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. All inning-ending double plays.
Well, all that frustration can go away in a half an inning here. Blue Jays 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position today. We told you earlier, worst team in baseball in these spots.
How would you, if you're managing, how do you play this at home? How do you play it on the road?
Well, if you are, if you're the road team, you got to be able to pile on, right? If you're the home team, if the Cardinals come in and this thing is still tied, I'm playing small ball big time. I'm bunting, I'm moving guys over. But when you're the visiting team, you got to try to score as many as you possibly can in these spots.
Espinal, the fly ball left center. Bader circles it, makes the catch. Springer stays put at second base.
Seems like a little thing, but it's not. Harrison worked so hard to get behind the baseball, put himself in a really good position to make a strong throw. Springer knows that as well, also knows the arm that Harrison has out there in center field. But it's that kind of work that you just don't see every outfielder do.
Now, I know they've gotten Guerrero here tonight. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. I'm assuming you're going to be very careful, or you're just going to put him on.
They're going to put him on.
Yeah. Then you set up also the potential of the double play.
Guerrero was intentionally walked. Now batting shortstop.
Brings in Bo Bichette, who's grounded into 3 double plays this year. So runners at first and second. Bichette is fly to right center. Fly to right a couple of times and also struck out. 0 for 4. Cardinal pitching has been terrific here tonight. They have allowed a total of 4 hits. Michael is 6 2/3. Palante a third. Gallegos scoreless 8th. Helsley a scoreless 9th. And now Genesis Cabrera here in the 10th. First pitch to Bichette, fouled back. Cardinals in their half of the 10th will have Bader, Kisner, and Tommy Edman. They have out-hit the Blue Jays 9-4. Jays have stranded 7 on the night. The 0-1. The fly ball, shallow right. Diving catch! Oh, what a play! And maybe a game-saving catch in right. Brendan Donovan. Guy has been everywhere.
Brendan Donovan has been so busy, made a lot of good plays, has had to range all over the place, but none bigger than this one right here, the sinking soft liner off the bat of Bichette. And you're right, I mean, that feels like a game saver right there. Been a lot of really nice defensive plays by the Cardinals today. We've seen Tommy Edman, Nolan Arenado, Bader, and now Donovan adds to the highlight reel.
Brendan Donovan starting in right field. And we mentioned it from the get-go. He's been busy, and you see what the Blue Jays have done. 0 for 9 runners in scoring position. And Donovan has been on base 3 times tonight with a run scored and an RBI. Teoscar Hernandez with 2 outs and 2 on, and hit sharply to short. Edman is there, and a chance to walk it off for the Cardinals coming up in the bottom of the 10th. Harrison Bader, RBI single in the 7th, leads it off when we come back. Been around a long time. Our Chevy called to the pen. Barrios, Simber, Richards, Merriweather at the 9th, and now Phelps here in the 10th. Debuted all the way back in 2012, April of that season. So around a long time. Starter, reliever. He's been a closer at times. And he will get Harrison Bader. And Bader will be the leadoff man. And you're going to have Lars Nootbaar pinch run for Dickerson. He was the final out. The double play turned in the 9th inning. So your last out starts at second. And that is Nootbaar. Now, to your point, Brad, you would think about bunting in this spot. You may do that here. But the Cardinals, generally speaking, do not ask Bader to bunt all that much. They'd rather see him try to poke it through the right side or do some damage.
Well, if he shows the type of bat control he did last at bat as he punched a 3-0 pitch through the right side, I'm fine with that. Nice job last inning, though. Genesis Cabrera comes in, gets it done. A really nice defensive play by Donovan in right.
And there's strike one.
He's going for it, trying to lay it down. If you're going to sacrifice, get it out there early.
Speed, good speed at second base. Lars Nootbaar just called up prior to the game. Cardinals were trailing 3-1 in the 7th. They tied it up, and it's now 3-3 here in the 10th. 0-2. Well, sometimes you see guys, they miss on the bunt attempts, and then all of a sudden they just whack one out there and they win the game and everybody's happy.
Well, let's just do that then.
There you go.
Yeah, Bader just does not look incredibly comfortable dropping down the bunt.
And an 0-2 pitch. The fly ball hit down the right field line and out of play. Phelps tough on the righties and the lefties. Righties 171 the average against him. And the lefties, only 2 hits against him, 2 for 15 and a 133 average. Has not allowed a home run this year and only 2 extra base hits. Both were doubles. There's Shallow. The play for the play at the plate. And an 0-2 pitch. Gets away. Umpire gets in the way. Nootbaar on his way to third.
That's as good as getting down the bunt right there.
There you go. Well, the Blue Jays, see how they want to play this now. Obviously infield in, but what other defensive alignments might they use?
Well, Phelps right there was trying to throw the best cutter ever and just overthrows it. Sails out of his hand.
So now the trio in the outfield very, very shallow, and the infield on the grass. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Bader. And a foul ball. Cardinals have 12 sac flies on the season. Bader has 1 of the 12. Only man that matters on the bases right now is Lars Nootbaar, as he represents the winning run here in the home half of the 10th. The Cardinals trying to pick up a walk-off win to start the homestand. The 1-2. Strikeout of Bader. Throw to first. They just get Harrison by a step, and a key first out for Toronto and Phelps. And look who's stepping up. Career walk-off hits in the remarkable career of number 5.
He just felt the everything change in this ballpark as soon as 5 popped out of the dugout.
Playing back at third is Chapman. 3 infielders in. The first pitch taken inside. The pinch hitter here in the 10th is Albert Pujols. The 1-0. He's 2 for 9 head-to-head against Phelps. Baseball is a beautiful game.
Everything set up for this moment right here.
Pop Warner talking to Nootbaar, going over the situation and what they want to see out of him. It's a count of 1 ball, 1 strike on Albert Pujols. The next to him. 1-2. Everybody on their feet here at Busch Stadium. Three infielders on the left side, and the 1-2 off the plate. Good take. 2-2.
Well, Phelps knows what he's doing. He got Albert to wave at the pitch beforehand. Tries to go with that cutter again off the plate. That's a pitch too. Albert stick the bat out, serve one into right field.
The 2-2 pulled foul. The 2-2 pitch, and Pujols strikes out, and Phelps is an out away from sending us to the 11th. Got him to chase in a couple of those.
He did. That's kind of tells you how much that cutter is moving there by Phelps. Started away, ended up way off the plate, but got Albert to wave at it. But Tommy Edman might be 0 for 4 today. But he's having quite the season. Good numbers with runners in scoring position this year, 371.
First pitch to Tommy is taken for a ball. He is 0 for 4 tonight. Pair of strikeouts, 2 groundouts. Cardinals, the month of May, have been very good in this spot. Now trying to do that with 2 outs and the game on the line. Edman head-to-head, 1 for 1 against Phelps with a triple. All they need is a base hit. The 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Don't say that.
The 1-1 pitch.
That's
2-1.
That's a good take right there. And again, home plate umpire Edwin Moscoso. He's been good.
If we head to the 11th, we'll see a major league debut with Ivan Herrera behind the plate. The 2-1, now 3-1.
As much as I want to see a major league debut, Dan,
I'm with you. Why not just send us home?
kind of want to see a Gatorade shower somewhere.
Two outs, runner at third, and a 3-1 pitch to Tommy Edman. Nolan Gorman in his home debut is 0 for 3 with a walk. They have 2 lefties in their pen. It looks like they're going to do this right now and try to go lefty-lefty with Nolan Gorman. You think about then Edmundo Sosa. Or maybe a night that Nolan Gorman will never forget. Seven of his 9 appearances this year have been scoreless. And they went with what they thought would be a lefty-lefty matchup. What the Cardinals will have to do now by using Sosa is burn every available position player. And if we go to the 11th, Ivan Herrera would be the new catcher, so that would be his major league debut, and Ollie's going for broke.
Sometimes you got to empty the pantry. That's what Ollie's doing here, and sometimes you just got to trust the numbers. Although it would be a great spot for Nolan Gorman, righties against Baraki. 286 with a 929 OPS. Lefties, well, they're only hitting a .154 with a 368 OPS. Big difference.
So Tommy Edman is your runner at first, but the only run that matters is down at third. And that's Lars Newpar. Here's Edmundo Sosa. And Sosa looks at a ball inside. Now, if somehow he would walk him or find a way on, Baraki would be facing one of the all-time great batters ever against left-handed pitching. I mean ever, and that's Goldie, who's on deck, who's had a tough night tonight. He crushes lefties. The 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Tommy Edman took the bag at second. Well, 2-0, you got to figure he's going to get a pitch to hit. Be ready to go. Right here. The 2-0 to Sosa. Here it comes. Inside, 3-0. Oh, he wouldn't walk him, would he?
Oh, he might.
Wouldn't dare bring in Goldie. You know Goldie's chomping at the bit. He's had a tough night, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts and grounded into a double play.
Could make it all go away.
Bader was swinging on 3-0 and picked up a key base hit in the comeback to tie it. The 3-0 pitch. 3-1.
A little surprised he gave him the corner after 3 bad misses.
Plays Sosa to pull on the infield with his shift. Outfield shading a bit towards right center. And the 3-1 pitch to Edmundo Sosa. Oh boy, he walked him. He wouldn't dare walk him, would he, to bring in Goldie?
It looks like he likes to play with fire.
Goldschmidt is 14 for 27. That's a .519 average against left-handed pitching. This season, 6 doubles, 2 home runs, over a 1,500 OPS against lefties this year.
Pete Walker, the pitching coach, coming out there, talk to Baraki and just say, dude, why'd you do that? you know this guy's numbers against lefties?
Paul Goldschmidt struck out looking in the first, swinging in the third, swinging in the sixth, and an inning-ending double play off his bat in the 8th.
But Dan, you and I were talking about his numbers against lefties just earlier today. Career against left-handers, 325. 325 against lefties with a 1033 OPS in his career.
Incredible. 2 outs, all loaded up for Goldie. First pitch, a ball. So this is what we're talking about against the left-handed pitchers in Major League Baseball. Goldie a .519 average.
Well, couldn't pick a better guy for this spot. You mentioned the day that he's had, not one to write home about. Maybe until this moment.
And the 1-0 pitch. A ball and a strike. Well, the Cardinals gave the Blue Jays 2 bases loaded walks that allowed them to take a 3-1 lead. St. Louis came back to tie it up. And now here we are in the bottom of the 10th and a chance to win it for the Cardinals. The 1-1.
Well, gets the call under the zone and then dots one on the corner at 97 in against Goldie, and it's protect time.
Takes a deep breath as he digs back in. The 1-2. Goldschmidt hits it out to left, and this will do it. And he does it in grand style. It's a grand slammer. A walk-off grand slam. Goldie, the walk-off grand slam.
What a ball game. We just talked about it, Dan. You play with fire, you get burned. And that ends up being the case. The numbers against the lefties for Goldie have been astronomical, and he gets himself a slider. It's down, it's in, and it's out of the ballpark. Walk-off winner. First one of the season for the Cardinals. And what a way to start this homestand.
7th career grand slam for Goldie. Awesome. What a night. Jimmy, take it away.
Yeah, and with Paul Goldschmidt, so take us through that at bat. You're behind in the count. You get something to drive. Take us through that.
Yeah, he made some good pitches. Those 2 fastballs down and in. Got 2 strikes. Just wanted to put some in play, give myself a chance. Yeah, that was his slider, and was able to get it out there.
When you're having a rough night at the plate, you're looking for a little redemption. I mean, a walk-off grand slam. It doesn't get any better than that.
Man, that's crazy. I was just laughing. That's funny. So. That's good. I mean, what a game, that's crazy. So you never know what's going to happen. Was hoping, one of the guys would get the hit or just play good D. I knew I didn't have a great first 4 at-bats, but, never thought that was going to happen, but that was great.
This ball club has gotten a lot of production from the young guys. The young guys had their fingerprints all over this game.
Yeah, it's a great team effort. Those guys did great. Donovan has been unbelievable for us. I'm sure I'm forgetting other guys. Bader had a huge knock. Great job by the pitching staff. That's a good win.
Thanks for the time. I got to tell you, though, you got like candy bars and power bars. You didn't get wet, so you're good, right?
That's good. I'm good.
All right, thanks for the time. Paul Goldschmidt.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. What a fun night of baseball. A lot of drama. And the chess match going back and forth. They had emptied their bench, and Goldie says, don't worry about it. With 2 strikes, a walk-off grand slam for St. Louis. Post-game show comes your way next.